Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Aurora C-Sharp Uncut Let's Play series. It's been a day since we last made the video and we are in quite the situation now. Over on Discord I have been discussing our situation with some of the members, some of the people over on there. If you want to be involved in that, feel free to join as a member or just get on the Discord. Feel free to send me messages as I am always available to chat. Now, if we go to cygni, we have managed to defeat the enemy warships, and we have captured two vessels, the one Reverend Mother, or the destroyer escort, and one cruiser escort vessel. It has come to my attention that we need to start thinking about reforming our naval forces. Now, our naval forces, while numerous, are weak against the enemies that we are facing. Why are they weak? Well, let's have a look at the enemy vessels. If we go over to escort cruiser, this vessel has 11 armor, a speed of 12,408 kilometers per second, 4 100% ghost turrets, and an ECM of 30. Because of this, our missile fighters are proving extremely ineffective, predominantly because of the speed combined with the ECM as the main problems. So we need to start thinking about redesigning our missiles, and I have come up with a new strategy. I have also been writing my thoughts down, which I'll bring up on screen here. This isn't anything official or done yet, but I've written up some of the ideas and things, and this is available in the Discord if you guys do want to have a look at it. I may be writing some more as well, depending on if I come up with any new ideas or whatever. So, my plan currently, before we get into the whole reforming our Navy, is we're going to grab all these survivors, and then we're going to hightail the fleet back to Bernard Star. In Bernard Star, we're going to fortify, ready, and defend that system, and we're also going to defend EV Lacerte. I decided that we cannot continue a war against an enemy that we have such a incapacity to defeat without overwhelming numbers. So we need to go back home, rearm, refit, reload, move forward more logistics, and prepare. I will be leaving 2 Marine divisions on the planet with the hopes that that will slow them down enough so that we will be able to handle them. Because our enemy is going to start coming through in greater and greater numbers, and I do not believe that our fleet can handle those greater numbers. Because as fleets grow in size, they exponentially grow more powerful. Another thing that does concern me with this plan, though, is that their ground forces must have some pretty insane weaponry, because they have, from my calculations, strength 12 particle beams, which are then turned into lances that do 24 damage. So yeah. So how are we going to beat them? What's the plan? Well, currently the plan is two different things. The first thing is going to be a fast surface fleet that can move either at the same speed as our opponents or slightly under it. Keep in mind that there are 2 engine technologies ahead of us right now. And then refitting, rearming, and reordering our carrier fleets into bigger carrier fleets, and 2 with better fighters to actually be able to handle dealing with the enemy. A major oversight I made when I originally made our missiles was that I did not include electronic countermeasures. And because I did not include that, we are taking a 30% penalty. So what should be a 45% chance to hit an enemy warship is actually only a 15% chance to hit. Okay? So, that is a big deal. The way we can counter that is twofold. 1, ECCM, which we need to develop and research, and that will then counter that ECM, meaning that 30% will become a 10% or 0%, and then our own ECM, which makes it harder for them to actually hit our missiles. Okay? Another thing that we have noted from our engagements with our opponents is that our opponents do not seem to be capable of any missile fire, and they don't seem to be capable of any long-range fire. They primarily are indoctrinated within fast, armored, advanced warships, but those warships have very few weapon systems in comparison to our ships, which are primarily focused on firing as many weapons as possible. So, we're going to try and develop new missiles, develop new fighters, and refit and rearm our carriers, while also developing a surface fleet made up of cruisers and destroyers, and maybe some torpedo boats that will be able to quickly respond to threats, to properly handle enemy problems, to interdict enemies, to pursue, and that kind of thing. So where do we begin? Well, first off, we need to start looking at missiles. Now, I've been talking over on the Discord a lot about missiles and handling missiles and what would be best. And I've come to the realization we're going to take a page, interestingly enough, from World War II. We're going to develop ourselves some torpedoes. What is a torpedo in this context? A torpedo is going to be a very short-range missile with a lot of power, very, very fast, that we may, a fighter may be able to carry one at a time. It's going to be like a size 25 missile. So I'm going to begin to design one. So we're going to do a size 25. I've already done this previously. 36% chance to hit. We're going to do a 12,000 44 kilometer per second target speed with a desired hit chance of 100%. This gives us a 79,200 km per second missile that does 36 damage and has a 100% chance to hit a target. We are, though, going to add in our ECM tech, so we're going to add in a 20% ECM. There we go. That'll make it 20% harder for them to hit our enemy. So, yes, we do lose some hit chance. So, we lose some chance to hit with that. Well, we're not really some chance to hit. We lose some speed, which does make it easier for our missiles to be hit. But this should still prove very optimal. Then we need to look at ECCM. We haven't developed this yet, but let's say we add in ECCM. We can then add that in, and that will grant us that will mean that they'll have we'll be able to hit them better than we did before. So we need to focus on researching both of those, and we have captured our warships, which have better technology in that regard to them, which we should use. So, how effective is this missile, realistically speaking? Because let's say we had 24 fighters with one of these missiles each. Because we could have one 500-ton fighter can carry basically one of these missiles. In that case, if we do a little bit of math here, let's say we were firing versus one of their 12,000 km per second ships. We would have about a 29% chance, not 29%, my bad. We would have about a they would have about a 33 to 32% chance to hit our missiles. Okay? We add in the ECM, that goes to about 13%, 12%. Okay? So that's actually proving pretty decent. Obviously, we want to get that speed up as much as possible, but that actually works out fairly well. So this missile design generally works out. And then our hit chance versus them, let's say they have, we have 100% chance to hit them, then that's modified by 30% from their ECM, but our ECCM counters that and makes that 10%, okay? So in actual fact, we have about a 90% chance to hit our enemy targets, okay? 95, 96, which is pretty good. Much better than our 15% chance to hit right now. So, I'm going to design a missile like this. I'm going to save this to the archive really quick. And we're going to call this the Mark V Striker Long Range, okay? Our Mark IVs are going to have to be completely obsoleted. Also, the Mark IIIs are also going to have to be obsoleted. And I'm going to start, just removing entire fighter squadrons and refitting stuff. But we still have fighters that we can use. And we would need new fighters to use the bigger missiles, the size 25 missiles, effectively. So I'm going to design a size 6 missile that's going to have the same 2 million kilometer range, but it's going to hit at a 9 million kilometer, a minimum range of 2. Or there's 16, and it will have a 50% chance to hit. That gives us a 2 million kilometer, 50% chance to hit, 16 damage warhead. So that means that can penetrate through 3 layers of armor. This would give us about a 40% chance to hit missile. So let's go for a 60%. That doesn't seem to work out. What about a optimized 9? Yeah, I like that a lot more. 9 damage, but a much, much, much higher percentage to hit. We can go for 68,000 kilometers per second, which gives us then a 80% chance there, or a 70% chance. And I think that is a missile that I would like to go for the Mark 5. No, yeah, it's gonna be a Mark. So we're gonna have the long range variant, or not the long range variant, but the torpedo variant, and then we're gonna have just the normal missile, which is going to be for size 6, and it's just gonna focus on hitting the target as best as it can with just mass wave fire. Okay, so the idea is we have torpedo bombers which can close in from long range, about 1 billion kilometers away from our carriers, close in, drop torpedoes within 2 million kilometers, get the hell back, and then impact with strength 36 hits, impacting into the side of their vessels. Now, strength 36 does 6 penetration of damage. It goes 6 layers down due to damage plan. But if so with 2 hits against like one of their cruisers or their destroyers, that would penetrate straight through the armor. Okay, so we just need to score like 2, 3, 4 hits. Four hits would probably destroy a vessel. Okay, with those, and with these spam missiles, these would be able to. These are going to be more of a stopgap / strike fighter capable missiles. That we will be using. So we're going to develop this, and we're just going to call it the Mark 5 Striker SR. Okay. Yeah, SR. I'm going to save that to the archive, and then I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to rename this to the torpedo, Mark 1 ballast torpedo. And I'm going to then save that to the archive, and then I'm going to develop a Mark 5 Striker, which is going to use the same kind of range as we had before. So we're going to go for 60 million kilometer range. Well, that's a missile size. 60 million kilometer range with a warhead of 9. So it's gonna have a little bit of a weaker warhead. Well, not weaker warhead, but yeah. And then we're gonna have a 50% chance to hit target. That is not really that acceptable to me in terms of speeds, because they're hitting at 25,000 kilometers per second. So we could go for size 4 warhead, and just try and go for maximum amounts of speed. But we will see. For now, I'm not going to worry about it, but we are going to begin to develop these 2 new missile types. So first off, let's design ourselves our torpedo. So we need to grab up our ballast torpedo here. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to design this in. So we're going to need to add 6 HS of 6 MSP of warhead. We need to add 0.4607 of fuel, or 607, and then we need to add in 2.593 for the 393 for the agility. And then we need an engine of 15 MSP engine, 15.15. There we go. And then we're going to boost the missile as much as we can here, realistically speaking. And we then need to add in ECM, which we have, but we need to add in ECCM. But we don't have either of those yet, so I'm going to focus our research on those to begin with. So let's, we need ECCM. I'm going to have our sensors and fire controls focus on that. I'm going to also assign a significant portion of our laboratories to this project. Matching scientists, I need ECCM. So we're going to put 15 labs on that, and hopefully we can get that done relatively quickly. That'll take us half a year. And then the rest is going to be going into shields, defensive systems, and ways to improve capabilities on shield recharge. Let's get to that. So we're going to need technology before we really develop those missiles, but you know, it'll work out okay for us. So we now have these 2 vessels here. We're loading those up. We need to go and grab the survivors now. So we're going to pull out of the system. So 3rd carrier, we need to put in the new carrier Yuri Andropov. You guys need to actually join up with the 1st carrier strike group, not join a subfleet, but join as a fleet. There we go. We've also brought in capture, so we want to take these prizes home with us to reverse engineer their technology, because these are valuable captures due to their significantly advanced technology compared to us. We have a lot of fuel here, but honestly, not as much as I would think we would normally have. So we have 58% fuel on the main carrier. That should hopefully mean we can get home relatively quickly, I would hope anyway. I'm going to have the third carrier strike group then pick up the survivors. So go over to live pods, go rescue, well not rescue, but capturing all their survivors. Then we're going to bring those straight back. And then I want you to go back and I want you to follow. Okay, there we go. Another thing as well is we do have the second carrier strike group at home, but it's currently really out of date. So we need to get that refitted and prepared. One thing we can do, though, we can't develop the missiles, but we can develop a torpedo bomber, which is what I am going to do here. So we need a torpedo bomber. There we go. I'm going to add, the first thing I'm going to add in is going to be a missile launcher that will be able to properly fit a missile of this caliber on. We're going to go for a size 25 missile. We're going to make that sure that's a box launcher. That gives us a total size of 188 tons. I'm going to call this the Mark 1 torpedo rail. And we're going to prototype that design. Prototype the design, and then we're going to go over to missile fire control. Grab the torpedo rail. There we go. Remove the bridge. Remove the engineering space. Remove the fuel storage. There we go. Set the deployment time to 0.03. Gets us 0.9 days. Add in the same engine that we are using currently on our strike fighters. So on the Block 4, we currently use the internal fusion drive EP180. So we're going to use the exact same engine. I'm going to then add in a missile fire control. Now, these missiles will have very, very short range, so we don't need a significantly large fire control, obviously speaking here. We just need enough to be able to hit a target at a relatively short range. So we could even go for a 0.1 million kilometer missile fire control range here, and that would be no problem whatsoever. Now, there were also talks in the Discord of and doing things of a two-stage missile that we could find a way to refit and rearm this to be useful in that regard. And honestly, I like the idea. So I'm actually going to add in essentially a little bit extra on this tonnage. We don't have to add this much extra tonnage to our missile fire control with the missile we're planning to put in. But let's say we wanted a size 25 two-stage missile that we could launch from a distance. This would improve the longevity of our design much, much, much further. So I'm going to add in that as a design element. Now, our torpedo rail costs us 15, so we need 15 maintenance supplies if we are going to repair that in the field, because every weapon, including missiles, unless it's on point of defense, has a 1% chance to fail and require repair. So we need to make sure that we have enough to do so. So I'm going to add in that. So we have 15 maintenance supplies. There we go. Now we need to add in fuel. So fuel storage, small. And we're going to add in extra. So that gives us a 500 million kilometer range. I would like a 1 billion kilometer range, ideally speaking. So I may actually have to downsize the missile fire control for now anyway, to put on something a little bit more reasonable. But I'm going to go with the same amount of fuel that the Aurora Block 4 has, and that has 54,000 liters of fuel. So I'm going to go for 54,000 liters of fuel again, which gives us 45 tons total. That's a missile fire control. It gives us 65 tons or 55 tons total to be able to actually play with. We're gonna go for a 7,500 classification target, considering that's the range of our enemy vessels. I'm gonna go for 50 tons. So that gives us 90 million. So we are losing some range, of course, but that's not actually that bad. And we can obviously fit on new missiles. Fitting new missiles is trivial compared to the costs of other things in regards to it. So that actually works out pretty well for us. I'm going to even add in a little bit extra fuel. And that gives us the same speed as an Aurora Block 4, so the Aurora Block 4s can efficiently protect the torpedo bombers. But the torpedo bombers have a good range, so we can strike out about 1 billion kilometers away. And then if we have a look at our space early warning crafts, here we go, we can also do nearly the same thing here. We do probably want to have another redesign of something like this. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So, to get this designed up correctly, let's begin to research the prototypes for both the torpedo rail and also the missile fire control. Get those designed, get those ready, and start building out some more fighters. Now, the Mark IV versions of our fighters, the Aardvark Block 4s, those will stay in service. Those will be the predominant fighters that we use, and that's why we did develop that other we're going to develop that other size 6 missile. So that's effectively what I want to be doing, realistically speaking. And I'm also going to cancel this project for the Mark IV-B, as it did not contain ECM, so it is not of any actual real importance to me. I'm gonna have to cancel projects. Everything has to go to military for what we're going to be needing to do. So I'm going to redesign that, and there we go. Okay, now we're going to hopefully get everything repaired up and sorted out. Okay, 5 minutes, an hour. Okay, we'll prepare the storage, that's something. Okay, we're going to attempt to collect live pods. Technical details of minimum engine power 4 have been acquired from the Kingdom of Boughton, which is fantastic. Does that now mean that we can use that? I'm pretty sure it doesn't, no? Oh, it does in fact mean that we can use that. So as we gain intelligence, we're actually getting technology levels from our opponents, which I'm very happy about, honestly. Now we need to get these two vessels repaired and ready to move out as quickly as we can. How is that coming? Are we able to get the engines? We do have one engine of it online here. On the Reverend Mother Gaia's class, we have no engines currently available. So maybe we can track to the ships. Do we have a supply vessel? Yes, we do. And oh, no, you do. We need third carrier strike group for this. Third carrier strike group. Do you have access to Norfolk class vessel? Yes, you do. Okay, that's fantastic news. I'm gonna then have you go to fleets. You're going to the cruise is more valuable, so we're gonna track to that, and then we're gonna pull out of the system. So I'm gonna track to that vessel, pull out of the system, and then we're gonna head over to Bernard Star, which is not that far away, and then we're gonna refuel, resupply once we have arrived there. The first carrier strike group is going to attempt to do the same thing. Now, I may not be able to due to low fuel, but hopefully we should be able to. We're going to track to this vessel, so we're going to track to the revered Mother Gaia's class, head back to Bernard Star, and then we're going to refuel, resupply. Another thing as well is we want to start moving ordnance to new locations. So I'm going to actually, do we have an ordnance transfer stations? Yes, we do have it on the planet. Bernard Star needs those ordnance transfer stations to actually move, to be able to provide that ordnance capability to our carrier groups, because we're going to use Bernard Star as its original purpose, a naval staging ground. And that is going to be the priority in regards to that. So we're going to go and unload an ordnance thing there. And speaking of that, we're going to need to design ourselves a missile logistics. So missile logistics vessel. And the purpose of such a vessel is going to be, as I stated, what kind of shipyards do we have available? 10,000 tons, that should be perfect here. The purpose is going to be to provide quick movement of missiles to and from an area. So now we need to add in magazines, commercial magazines. We can begin to add that up. So that means that we can move 1,200. I wish I had a bigger version of it, but we don't. So I'm just gonna do That gives us 2,000 capacity. Let's go for 2,500. That works out pretty well for me. It does mean it's obviously slow, but this is going to be more of a commercial. Our supply vessels are going to be the ones that will focus predominantly on providing ourselves faster resupplies. But relatively cheap considering. Able to carry 2,500 missiles. I do need to put a ordnance transfer system on the actual vessel itself here. Otherwise, it won't work for us. So let me just take away some of the fuel storages here to make sure that we've got a nice even number, because I always do like my even numbers. So that gives us 19,500 ton vessel. So I'm going to first off consider capacity upgrade this to 20,000 tons. Consider capacity upgrade is this 20,000 tons. I'm going to add additional slipways to these. Slipways. Just so, because we need to really ramp up our production capabilities, because the one advantage we really have over our opponents is the fact that we have a ridiculous amount of territory, and we also have a ridiculous amount of minerals, and because we have that, that is where we can win the war, because they have only just awoken, and they only have maybe 3-4 systems currently at most, so we can abuse that fact pretty handily. So let's begin to get everything ordered up here. Carrier strike group needs to get back though to its the carrier strike group needs to get back to the boarding crafts, that is, needs to get back to the carrier. So I'm gonna land. So first off, 3 of you are gonna land on the 3rd carrier strike group, land on the sign mothership and assign onto the Norfolk, and then you need to land onto the 1st carrier strike group and land onto that Norfolk. There we go. That works perfectly. Okay, and now we're going to track to these ships. Let's get the hell out of here. Doesn't slow us down that much, which is always nice to see. Yeah. Look, and honestly, at this point, it looks like our Aardvarks are just probably going to die in the Beta Pupus, which I'm almost okay with. They may have to self-destruct themselves at this point, but yeah, here we go. So here's our Exodus leaving. Now we've left 2 Marine divisions to defend and hold the planet. If we have a look at that specifically, we have, where are you? You are over on V51 Cygni. We have 2 Marine divisions here for a total of 260,000 tons worth of ground forces on the planet. Now, they have shown their intentions of trying to, trying to take the planet, but I'm not too concerned. I think our ground forces will do well, though we have not seen what kind of ground forces our opponents do have. Okay, let's get the hell out of this system. It's going to take us 10 days, which is quite a long time when you realistically think about it. Natal PA, you are dropping, last I checked, wasn't that orbital defense capable weapons? Infantry brigade, yes it was. Okay, well that works out actually pretty well for us, doesn't it? We successfully repaired the fusion drive, repaired the ion drive. Crew quarters, which is good. Fuel storage, we're really getting repairs done, which is fantastic news. Do I want to bring the Natal in here? That might be able to slow our opponents down a little bit, but I'm not too sure on the benefits. We're also going to need more fighters, proper fighters, that is. So I am going to order up fighters. I want 96 more. Yeah, I want 96 more fighters to be constructed. Block 4s, that is. Okay. For the 1st carrier strike group is no left system, which is fantastic news. Well, there's 3rd carrier strike group, that is. If we don't have enough fuel, we'll bring the other supply vessel, and that should give us enough fuel to be completely fine here. Okay, Natals are moving in. Hopefully they'll be able to deploy the forces. There's Baldwins. Beta Pupus. Yeah, we got a bunch of problems with the maintenance, and it's giving me they don't like it. Let's just get those ground forces onto planet, and then let's get the hell out. Hopefully our vessel should be fine. I would hope they would be on the Natals. But if we can actually have SDOs here, we could actually inflict significant casualties on our opposing forces. So I'm definitely interested in possibly doing that. More problems. Should we just get rid? Where are you? Third carrier, third strike wing, destroyer, Kempfer orbiting Earth, reserves, task force Beta, third carrier strike group, fourth Ontario interceptor squadrons. You're in Beta Pupus. I'm deleting you. Bye bye. I'm sorry. You just lost. 10th Aardvark Strike Squadron. You're in Beta Pupus as well. That's 48 fighters I have to get rid of, but they're gone as well. We're never gonna save them. In time anyway. They all just break down and explode. Okay, we've managed to drop off the extra service orbit weapons, which is fantastic news. Now let's get the hell over to Alpha Centauri. We do not want to be sticking around now that we have basically abandoned the system. Tanker B0019. Actually reroute to EV Lacerte. Transfer your fuel to that colony instead. We're not risking anything here. I don't want to lose any more vessels than I already have to. Okay, how is our forces actually moving over to Bernard Star doing? Let's have a look. Bernard Star Defense Fleet is located here. Now, the jump point is located over in this direction. We do probably need to get a buoy on that at some point, I would think. But we should begin to get our carriers hopefully back here somewhat shortly. At least I would hope anyway. Okay, third carrier strike group is now here, which is fantastic. Then taking another 3 days to arrive at planet. But we're starting to actually get some incrementing going on, because the thing is, when combat happens, everything just slows down so much. I'm trying to get that torpedo rail right now done, so we can begin to build torpedo bombers. But we're going to need to get ECCM and also ECM for that. Okay, and we have managed to hopefully make it towards the planet. Yes, we have, I do believe. We're going to refuel, resupply. Taking a while to do so, though. So we're just going to do 8-hour increments, 8-hour increments. I'll do a 1-day increment. I don't usually do 1-day increments, but there we go. I'm also starting to repair all of the drives, which is really, really useful. Put an active search sensor, repair the crew quarters. Twin Gorse turret was repaired, which is fantastic. I may want to start switching into Gorse eventually, speaking, for some of our stuff. Now, Second Carrier Strike Group is continuing to refuel, resupply, and we're repairing the Shade-Out Mapes vessel as well on the third Carrier Strike Group, which is working out pretty well for us overall. ETA. Okay, they have successfully completed orders. So one thing I am going to tell the second Carrier Strike Group to do now, the third Carrier Strike Group, my bad, is to begin to unload survivors. So currently on the vessel we have 392 prisoners of war. So I'm going to unload them. And that should now mean that we have none, which is great news. So we can begin to do an autopsy. Which, you know, it's always nice to do on your opponents whenever you can do it. So we're going to do an autopsy, alien autopsy, Boutzen people. I'm going to remove I'm going to get this done as quickly as possible. Now, this doesn't really tell us much information, but it does tell us what their environmental tolerances and what they're like. which is always, can always be very, very handy in a lot of regards. Now, let me have a look. You are currently tracting the Shade Out Mapes class vessel. I'm going to release the tracted ship that we do have here onto the Ego. So, release tracted ships onto Ego. There we go. And then I'm going to grab the Shade Out Mapes vessel. There we go. What's the damage looking like now on you? Only one ion drive, only one inertial fusion drive. It's actually needing repair. The rest is actually rather healthy. So we're going to have you then head over to Sol, and it should only take you 2.9 days as you're very fast ship. And we're going to move to Earth, and then we're going to disassemble you and take apart all your components if possible. Here come the first carrier strike group, which is on its way as well. Only 1 billion kilometers out, or about 6 days, due to having to track to a much slower vessel. Okay, now the ship that makes managed to actually repair all of its engines, which means that it should actually be moving faster than any vessel in the fleet. At 12,000 kilometers per second, it's actually going to take 3.7 days to get to Earth, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. 2 Cardigan C-class vessels were completed. Okay, the Impassive is heading over to the planet. Okay, V-58 Cygni, we have detected multiple enemy vessels. New energy weapon contact. V-51-8 Cygni. Oh, well, that's concerning. They seem to have... Was that destroying of the buoy? I would think it may be. Captain Star, so they may be moving towards our systems now, which is going to be quite concerning to say the least. I'm going to send then the 3rd carrier strike group orbiting Ego. You need to head over to Sol. You need to reload ordnance. Okay. Why is that cargo group going there? I don't want that cargo group going there. 003, 003. What are you carrying? Ute tracking stations? Take that to E-Ray Lacerta instead. Unload all installations there. Now, on Captain Star and V-51 Cygni, we have actually managed to repair... Not repair, but we have gotten surface assault weapons. So if they do come, we should hopefully be able to handle them in some regards. Though I'm not sure how effective that will overall be. Okay, so we have a salvager coming across. So they're going to begin to salvage some of their vessels, which is definitely interesting to think about. Well, there's no vessels above our planet, at least that I can see anyway, and it doesn't seem like... Okay, Sharkmapes has actually gone back to Earth, so we can begin to scrap it. So I'm going to scrap the Shade Out Mapes. Now, we could obviously use it for our own defense, but the technology that it retains within it is more important. Another thing, speaking of scrapping, is we're going to scrap our older missiles. I'm going to actually scrap we have a bunch of Mark 2s, we have a bunch of Mark 1s, we have a bunch of Mark 1 AMMs as well, and we can scrap those and actually get quite a few minerals. A few minerals, bit of wealth, always nice to see. But yeah, we can begin to scrap. That'll be done in February, so quite a bit of time. Here come the vessels. They're looks like they're beginning to grab some of the keys while class is getting salvaged. That's for sure. Low gravity infrastructure found. More RVAR Block 4s completed construction. We really need to get new missiles sorted out for all of them, and that is going to mean ECCM. But ECCM is still quite a ways away in a lot of regards because we don't have a great amount of sensors and fire control experts, which is definitely putting a hamper on our capabilities in this regard. So I'm going to do 8-day increment, 1-day increment, 1-day increment, 1-day increment. Another 1-day increment. First cavalry strike group has completed orders and is now at it's now here. Do we need to do any repairs? No, we do not, at least from what I can tell anyway. Everything's looking good, largely speaking. Ammunition, we do need to get a reload and resupply on, so I'm going to bring you back to Sol. Have you resupply, reload ordnance there, as that is going to be very, very important in actually being able to, do anything. 2 Devonshire C-class vessels completed, complete orders, which is fantastic news. Another 1 day increment going along. We're starting to kind of increase the pace. The problem is I don't want to increase it too much, otherwise the enemies could just be right on top of us, and that would definitely be a problem. We need to get our ordnance changed out and redone and refitted. So 5 inactive research facilities over on Earth. That was the person researching the torpedo rails that we desperately need. So there we go. That'll be done hopefully soon. Okay. New ship contact if you like cygni the Flood class vessel. I'm wondering when they're going to send their troop transports. That's my worry. Is when are they going to be sending their troop transports? We complete research into the missile fire control required, which is fantastic news. Then going to put the rest into here. We have 10 labs that we can work on something with this guy. That's at 40%. I wonder, would that actually give more RP or not? In terms of electronic countermeasures here. That would give us 2,000 research compared to countermeasures. No, I want to use the 15 lab one. Electronic countermeasures. That does give us more, so we'll use that one instead. But yeah, I'm very interested to see when they will actually send forward their troop transports, because they did try to do that before, but it didn't work out too well for them in a lot of regards. Third cavalry strike complete orders now orbiting Earth. So third cavalry strike group should now have all the missiles it needs. How many of those Mark 3s? There's plenty of Mark 3s. It really should not be carrying any of those. Should be carrying, I guess it does need the Mark 3s, yeah. I need to make sure the supply vessel, A-Lodge supply, the A-Lodge supply and the Netto are properly ordnance trained. Yeah, you need to change out your ordnance on the Mark. Honestly, get rid of the Firebirds, they're not useful anymore. We just want the Striker Mark 3s on you for now. And then for the Normandy Block 2, Supercarrier, Normandy Block 2, ordnance-wise, that works fine, yeah, that's completely fine there. Just make sure that you replace all of your ordnance at the colony if required. It shouldn't take you too long. A third cavalry strike group is ready to go. We're going to send you back to Bernard Star, and you are going to stay there in protection of the planet. We don't want to, lose Bernard Star, because there's 550 million people living on the planet. And speaking of losing Bernard Star, how many forces do we actually have on the planet? We have an infantry division, Centauri Defenders, STO. We have Railgun PD here. We need more infantry. That's what we need. We need combat engineers. So we're going to. These are marine combat engineers. Not marine. Oh, for fuck's sake! Did I train the wrong ones? Probably. I probably did, to be fair. Which means we need a new order of forces immediately on Rice. I need combat engineers, not marine combat engineers. Train them up. But we can actually start to begin to move some of these formations into divisional headquarters. At least we should be able to begin to do so, but so far, no luck. We have a single infantry division pretty much ready to go. I am going to actually just redirect what combat engineers we do have into this division. Yeah, so we have the 3rd Army Corps 10th Division, 170,000 tons. I'm going to order Natal PAA 00 A or 009 to load up the 10th Infantry Division. And I'm going to order you to go to Bernard Star and then to orbital drop all forces onto the planet. And then we're going to head back to Sol and refuel. Because we're going to need... we are going to be needing as many ground forces on that planet as possible if they decide to come through. Okay. Still no sightings of any troop transports so far. Now, we did destroy quite a few of them, so... I would definitely be interested to see if they actually send any more forward. So far, no more sightings after they attack that buoy that we can see anyway. What's our current relationship with the Kingdom of Boutzen? Minus 1,445. Yeah, that's not great, is it? Intelligence points are going up though. We are getting more and more information on them. How much until we dissect them? That'll be quite a bit of time, even with the best biology guy we have on it. That'll take a year, which is not going to be an easy amount of time to do, I will admit. So we're actually going to start incrementing through some proper amounts of time. So torpedo rail just finished up, which is fantastic news. I'm now going to use the rest of these labs to actually focus on getting us better, better missile agility. Missile agility is really keeping us behind in a lot of ways. So now I'm going to order up the construction and production of Transvaal class torpedo bombers, which need to be made in according numbers. So I'm going to make 48 of these to start out with. They put 60%. I'm going to modify this to 60%. I'm going to modify this to 40%. Not bad in the queue. I'm going to modify this there. I'm going to begin to construct more fighter factories, specifically 200 more, 50%. So we can get those torpedo bombers out, but they got no torpedoes at the moment, which is a bit of a concern, I will admit. Troop transports are finally coming in. We have enemy troop transports coming in here. Let's see if they decide to close in on the planet. So far, they don't seem to be coming close. But there are troop transports. Trade out mates detected in V-51 cygni. Yeah, that is a escort fleet with troop transports. Yeah, they're not coming towards us, which is definitely interesting. Not sure what they're doing. Okay, first Scout Strike Group has arrived at Earth, finally. First off, we're going to release our tractored ships, and then we are going to reload, resupply, replace, and also we're going to unload survivors. We currently have how many? We have 194 Earth survivors on the ship. We're going to replace, reload, resupply ordnance, and then replace it, and then we're also going to add replacement crews. That could be useful indeed. Add replacement crew on Ego as well. That would also be good. Then you're going to head over. We're going to get ready to move to Bernard Star. Now you're 291,000 tons, so we can't exactly move you into anywhere yet, but we should be fine in other regards. Okay, I'm not sure where that troop transports are going, I will admit. Are very, very confusing to me. But we are going to scrap the Reverend Mother Gaius class here to hopefully gain access to its components, which are very, very valuable to us. We're now in October of 2245. The Gaius Strike Group now at Ego and is safe and refueled. No more contact. Marine has recovered an abandoned mine on Groombridge, which is good news. I'm also going to order up on Earth just a bunch more of these 300mm. Well, we actually got a ton of them in construction, and we're also producing a ton of those. Empire mining right now is going well. I mean, we are actually we're incredibly rich in a lot of ways, especially in corundum and uranium. We have like no problems there whatsoever. So everything just needs to focus on this war. Population is really what we would want, and we can gain that population from our opponents. Vega, Suffolk. One of the engines broke down, did it? Yeah, it looks like one of the engines on the one of this vessel here, Vega system. And you only have one engine, don't you? Yeah, you do. Shh, I kept you here for too long. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? You're gonna have to detach then. We can't have the mission go awry because that had problems. We can't have that happen at all, yeah, realistically speaking. We just need to slowly gain ourselves intelligence points. That vessel's probably lost, to be honest. We're too far behind enemy lines to get out of here. I should really outfit these more for longer range missions, speaking of that. Yeah, now we can do 1 day increments, which is actually like automatic increments, which is really useful. Why is he set to Cardigan B having issues? Excuse me? Tanker, let's have a look at that. Fuel group Cardigan B. Which one was it? 18. Because you're not refueling. Huh. Go back to 55 Buddhist. You're not refueling, which is the problem. How is Impassive doing, by the way? I just want to make sure that we are getting enough fuel. Yeah, we are getting plenty of fuel. Our fuel intake should be pretty damn great at the moment. Though our fuel requirements are definitely going through the roof, I will admit that. Yeah, we're making 111 million liters of fuel a year. We could put in a research request for construction and production for fuel production, which would take us 4 years, but that would obviously massively bump up our production of fuel. We have plenty of fuel. It's not really the problem, I don't think, anyway. We should have plenty of fuel, I would think so. I would hope to think so. 4.2 million liters of fuel found on Greenbridge. Okay, let's just keep incrementing until we can get everything done. Beta shields just completed, which is fantastic news. Absolutely fantastic news. Let us just focus on getting ourselves the best shields we can possibly get. So we're going to go for gamma shields next. That'll take us a year. And we want to get, yeah, this is going to be our first service fleet. And I may outfit almost all our destroyers with these. Going to complete orders now at 55 Buddhist. Let's redo your orders then, because we do need to get fuel out towards these other colonies. You first off, let's have you refuel from colony. Refuel from colony. I'll sort you out later. You can just refuel. YZ is not that important of an actual system, realistically speaking, compared to any of our other systems which are vitally more important to us. So we're just going to keep doing 1 day increments here. And so far, not many more sightings of our opponents. Callaghan has orbited impassive and has refueled. Looks like a sign. Sense of Flying Shock actually increased his capabilities, which is fantastic news. We should nearly have ECCM 1. We have a ridiculous amount of fuel on Earth, by the way, now. Yeah, we have 1.2 million liters of fuel on the planet Earth alone. We apparently have like 200,000 gallicite, but I'm not sure where that gallicite is. Let me just have a look. Sirius is the main gallicite mine, is it not? Yes, it is. We have a stockpile of 64,000 gallicite on Sirius. Are you kidding me? where are cargo groups actually moving this stuff to and from? We have 6 of these here. We have 10 of these here. Get the hell over to Sirius. Load all minerals until full. Head back to Sol. Unload all minerals. Refuel from Colony. Cycle those moves. Bloody hell. We need to get as done as quick as possible. We have a ridiculous amount of that stuff. Supply B-class vessel completed, which is fantastic news. We're going to do 5 increments now, which I do feel a little bit risky on, but is fine. Continue to gain more intelligence points on our opponents. Nothing of to ship contact changed sensor information. V51 cygni. Let's have a look at that. I think they got done with one of their salvage. Yeah, they're just salvaging up all these vessels here. Cargo group charge complete all those orbiting Earth. That's fine. Okay, Devonshire V class 55 Buddhist only has. Where are you, Devonshire B? 003. Where are you? Maintenance logistics. Let's have you refuel, my dude. Shouldn't take you too long to do so. New ship contact destined V51 cygni. Okay, so they may actually begin to land forces onto the planet now. Yeah, those are starting to move towards the planet, that is. Okay, electronic countermeasures 1 completed, or further countermeasures. We need to get number 2 then. That'll take us quite a bit longer though, which is definitely concerning. It looks like they're beginning to unload their forces onto the planet. Can we actually shoot them without SDOs? Let's have a look here. Do not fire. I'm gonna have 200mm STOs. Target random ship, please. Open fire. Active sensors. Actives on. Actives on. Actives on. And this is why you have actives on this screen, by the way, for surface to orbit weapons. So we're going to do all those actives are now on. Surface to orbit weapon. Target nearest vessel. Weapons per target. 006. Point defense. There we go. Let's hopefully have them fire. There we go. We managed to penetrate through. Our surface to orbit weapons are actually firing now. New alien population detected. They just landed their own ground forces, 46,000 tons approximately. But we are hitting their vessels. And we've destroyed them. Wow, that's powerful. Two of their vessels are now dead. Our ground forces are now, well, gonna probably try and hide. I'm going to make sure these guys are settled formations. I make sure they're in rear echelon. Because we don't want them to be hurt at all. So all formations at the same population. Field position rear echelon. So all formations at the same population as well. There we go. Because they have the other managed to actually get their ground forces onto the planet. But I'm hoping that we will have fortification level, and they won't. So that will obviously benefit us tremendously in comparison to them. Morale is also pretty goddamn high. So bring your alien scum. I am not afraid of you. Apparently their tonnage is reducing. I'm not sure why. Are we getting like further intelligence on them? Okay, well there we go. Civilian deaths 8,000. So yeah, civilians are dying here. We lost 237 Marines. We killed. Okay, we are slaughtering at them. We killed 909 infantry, 110 anti-tanks. We have now identified multiple targets. Construction vehicles, anti-tank teams, heavy infantry, and what kind of armor do they have? Penetration 15. Basic ground. Armor strength 30, resupply 15. So they seem to have the same-ish levels as us. But yeah, we lost about 300 and they lost a hell of a lot more forces for that. They said they're about 20,000 tons worth of forces, that is. So yeah, we killed about 5,000 tons, probably 10,000 tons worth of ground forces there, which is significant. Okay, here we go, another ground combat phase. Cygni also is suffering collateral damage, but we're actually getting breakthroughs. We lost 213 Marines. We killed another 1,000 basically. We're doing pretty goddamn well. We're even achieving some breakthroughs, which is working out really, really well for us. We estimate there are about 5,000 infantry, so mainly just an infantry force, infantry regiments, that is. Losses summary. Yeah, we've taken losses. Armor penetrated. Units lost 20, so yeah, they're able to penetrate some of our armor significantly, but overall we're doing pretty goddamn well, considering the fact. Hopefully I'll be able to wipe them out. I mean, we should have way more forces, or about equal to them in total force strength, so we should be able to hold out on the planet for quite a long time. Now we estimate they have 8,000. We lost 175, and we're continuing to kill quite a few of their units. What is our breakthrough chance at the moment? Yeah, there we go. We're really starting to break through with our heavy marines leading the way now. This is looking pretty good here. Okay, and now we're really starting to break through. We're losing less and less units. They are taking more and more casualties. That is significant. They just lost, yeah, they're losing about 5,000 tons a pop here. And let's see if we can do that again. More breakthroughs will occur. We are losing some infrastructure, I will admit. There we go. Another combat phase. We're starting to press the breakthrough. They're continuing to take, that's it. We're trading about 8-1 at the moment, which is fantastic. Yeah, the infantry numbers have gone down dramatically there. We're really starting to screw them up here. These Marines are showing their worth. They're also on a planet that doesn't have the temperature, so we actually have double the hit chance as well, which is fantastic news. Which means we can just completely hit them up here. So it's only going to be a few days, but we're going to be able to repel. Or another big breakthrough there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And let us decimate through the remainder. Massive breakthroughs now. That is looking great. We lost 62 Marines and they lost 1,500 infantrymen. Yeah, we're just beginning to absolutely slaughter through them here. Fantastic worth on our forces. And we should be able to defeat. Okay, there's another increment gone. We lost 25 and they lost thousands of infantry. An absolute slaughter on their side. Took another big one. We lost basically nothing and we slaughtered. We're just retreating at this point, and we slaughtered them all. We have won the day. We have won the battle. And on that note, I think that's where I'm going to leave the episode off. Hope you guys have enjoyed our proud Marines holding on the planet of VF1 Cygni, 325,000 tons of ground forces on the planet itself. We're holding, ladies and gentlemen. Hope to see you guys next time. Please don't like, comment, and subscribe. With the seller pack, consider becoming a member over on the to get special access to perks over on Discord and other areas. Hit the join button and you can become one. And yeah, bye bye. And special thanks to members Alter Ego 1101, King Strozer, Lewis Neto, Impassive 9001, Gravmania, Benito Benito, Fishik, Doodle SM, and Alex Roberts. Thanks for your support. We hope to keep the channel going, and I hope to see you guys next time.